Hello everyone, I'm ExtraCheesy87 and this is Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All Part 28. In the previous video we continued making our way through the trial from hell that will just never end, ever. Or it's really not the trial, it's the entire cases. Let's not get off on a negative foot just yet. Let's wait until 10 minutes in and then I get annoyed. I will say, before we get too deep in, I forgot what I was going to say. There was something I wanted to say. So maybe if I think about it, we'll return to it. I did take about like an hour or so long break after the last video, so hopefully we're desalinated. At least for, I don't know, about 5 seconds. I mean, if I was smart, what I would do is I would just bottle all anger and emotion up and then never say anything and just say game good, me like game, but that would be dishonest. When I first saw him, I really honestly thought he had fainted. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. And I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Not because my controller has become unplugged. What? Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. What? Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. So you're telling me, Lotta, you dumb... You missed her going in and out twice? And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. To stab the body with the knife, but why would you do that? I don't know, because it'd confuse the Let's Player and make him look like an idiot. Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What? What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand. Oh, God. But this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. I mean, maybe? He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. I mean, okay, so maybe he's implicated in that suicide, but he's technically innocent of this crime. Last time? So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife? Because we still don't have much of a reason to think Matt... I mean, there's like a motive, right, that was presented. The idea that he was going to expose Matt's role in what we can presume is the suicide of Impacts. There is still the question of, like, you know, we did clear him with our psychic magic powers, but, I mean, I could see some explanations for maybe why that didn't work or something. Like, maybe if he didn't... I don't really remember if they explain exactly how the Magatama works, but maybe if he didn't feel any guilt over it, maybe it wouldn't show up as a lie or something. I don't know. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. I mean, if they do end up, like, offering an explanation or, you know, saying that, like, oh, the Magatama just didn't work on Matt and he was the killer, I'm fine with that as long as the explanation, like, is even slightly, like, I could see, I will roll with that if that's what they're going to try and go for. What? How is this possible? I mean, was it Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? I do like the idea of us defending a guilty client. I mean, I've kind of mentioned that, I think, in the first game, right? So if that's what they're going for, that would be kind of neat. Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. When I first saw him, I honestly thought he had fainted. Honest. Okay, so when he was dead, this is also not the testimony again. I was like, hey, did we just read that? When you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. The knife? His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. The knife? That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. The knife? The blood? The knife? Like, do I just present the knife again? And be like, lady, we just went over this. Man had a knife in his chest. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. How? I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point in the world. It turns out there was more than you needed to say than just one word. It turns out it was 2 words. 9 centimeters. So, Matt, I mean, it's like, the trial's so dry and humorless. I got nothing to work with, man. I gotta do crazy, stupid shit like that. So, Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button? The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Damn it, Lotta, why are you so bad at being a photographer? This is all her fault. Can we indict her for negligent tomfoolery? That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. We've also... I mean, there's definitely many explanations, but if you weren't using gloves... I mean, how did you not get your fingerprints on the knife? I mean, I guess you could have grabbed like a towel or something. It's not like a big deal, but it is kind of odd that that's never been brought up. Even though, I mean, you can't offhandedly explain it very quickly, but I thought if I used that, the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Okay, you can see she could... No, that's her notebook. I thought that was a towel for a second, but Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. Then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished, I was returning... Oh yeah, this is... not the continued testimony. So you stabbed the victim. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. That's when I stabbed Juan's dead body. I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt even look more suspect. Look even more suspect. So you thought to rip off one of the buttons and then plant it in Mr. On-Guard Sakama? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. See, okay, there we go. There's some humor. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I'd already been caught up and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. So I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught. Like, come on, man. They weren't there for when when you went in there, nor when you left the first time? I don't buy it. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. What about the button? How do you not have any fingerprints on the button? Because even if you held it with something like a towel or something, like you would maybe like smear the blood? And then it would be like, this blood was smeared with blah blah blah, or you know. Like forensically, you would be able to tell. Now, I know science and the law and logic only matter when the game wants them to, but... So after that, you went back to Mr. On-Guard's room and planted the button? Into Matt Sakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word! What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ongard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. And Zeska, huh? She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Look at this nerd listening to her. Ha ha, what an idiot. Your crime is death for being a big dumb. I'm hitting the button. There we go. What the witness has done is clearly unlawful. Maybe. I don't actually know the law. I just bang my hammer down and go, order! Order! However, as long as her testimony stands, I'm hitting the button. Please. Please! We can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. I mean, don't we have, like, obstruction of justice? There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. There are other crimes than murder, you frickin' weirdos. I mean, yes, he robbed a bank, but he didn't kill anyone, so shit, what do? We only have the one law. It says don't murder. We didn't think to make anything else illegal. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish the witness was the culprit? Please let it go, Mr. Wright. Absolutely not. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned. But, like... Oh, no. My man left. Like, fuck y'all. I got noodles to eat. I haven't got a piss since the first recess. Today's trial, it's over. I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. That card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, could it have been that maybe that flashback sequence we saw with Maya was like... It wasn't actually taking place... Okay, so that could have been Maya's card that she used. It may have been the exact same one, and that's a sign that Maya was able to escape or something? I don't know why that card would be... Like, maybe she planted it to let Phoenix know that she got out or something, but she can't show up again? I don't know. Because I mean, I've been wondering about the card too. I just haven't really, like, talked about it because I feel like we don't really know we don't have anything to talk about, but... Him mentioning it now just kind of sparked the idea in my mind that that could be the exact same card, not just like a duplicate. Because she said she just kind of randomly found it in like her bag or something like the other day, right? Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there, right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not, but it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Witness that card! Give it to me! Hurry! I need to complete my set! Then I can summon the Blue Eyes White Seashell. Edgeworth? I mean the ultimate Blue Eyes White Seashell. Pardon me. Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I cannot believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. Except for that time he watched The Notebook. Couldn't stop crying for days. Well, technically that movie hasn't come out yet, it's in the future, but, I'm not a time traveler, you're a time traveler. That card, what in the world is it, and what does it mean? So, what happens now? Do we get an investigation? Because, dear God, I'm so tired of the trial. I did say investigate. Okay, so at least the entire chapter is not just the trial. Because really, I think my biggest problem with this case is that trial section was way too fucking long. I mean, it was like, what, 5 videos, maybe? At least 4? So, like, 4 hours of trial, basically. Granted, it didn't go as fast because, like, every prompt was a fucking struggle, sadly, but... like it, because really the kind of like the flow of the game that I think makes it work pretty well is this kind of like, you know, you do like 90 minutes of investigation, like 2 hours of trial, 90 minutes of investigation, 2 hours of trial. So it's like by the time you get to the end of the trial section, you're like, okay, I'm kind of like ready to be done with this and take a break. And then, you know, you go into investigation stuff. And then when the investigation is almost over, you're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this. Let's get back to the trial. But like that section where it's just like, it's such a long trial that like I was kind of checked out after like 2 videos. And then we had to do like 2 more videos of just bumbling through the trial. I'm hitting the button, man. Hitting it. Another thing I don't like about this case is I don't really like Maya being, kidnapped, because like I mean I kind of mentioned this in the last, like one of the reasons why I actually really liked chapter 3 was just I thought the investigations were very good with Maya. Like she's by far the best of the investigation characters. Like I don't really dislike Pearl or anything, but there's just not as much, like humor wise, there's not as much to do with her. You know, it's basically kind of like the same joke over and over again about how she doesn't know what anything is because she had the most sheltered upbringing in existence. There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. I'm not crying, dude. I'm crying internally. I'm not gonna make a crying noise, I promise. Look, it's alright. Everything may still work out. Huh? The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. Engard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. You're changing the rules of the agreement. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. Hitting the button. Still hitting the button. Okay. Do any of the keys work? Okay, enter key? Alright, we mouse and keyboard, boys. Yeah, that's right, so... Hey, you guys! Glad I caught you, pal. Mr. Scrubby Detective! Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe. Oh, okay, this enter key doesn't work. I wish this enter key worked. Come on, man. Why can't the numpad enter key work? It's easier for me to hit on my keyboard. Has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's Notebook now. Okay, now the controller's working again. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe to you. Now I came to talk to you, pal. Yep, that's what they call me, Mr. Dick. We're kind of busy right now. So what are you going to do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So do you have a new job lined up? Bro, I'm living with you. Oh, that. What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday? Damn, you're right. Well, thankfully there's no law against robbing banks, so I think I'll be okay. Hell, I might actually make more money. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. We don't get paid. Say what? You'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. Engard's innocent all day long, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I got lots of experience in investigating and watching over people's places. Hell, some even call me a professional stalker. And I'm great at making real simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's take Mr. Scruffy's detective. Let's let Mr. Scruffy's detective take care of things. Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Ravioli, straight out the candioli. Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? Dude, I'm already having way more fun. Like, as soon as the trial's over, I'm like, okay, I remember why I like this game now. That was the first time I ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like that. He didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. I mean, you technically were there, Pearls. I mean, you were all, like, grown up and everything, but, kind of weird now I think about it. Why are you so tiny again? And why were you so tall? Hell, this game make no dang sense to old Mr. Dick. But because of him doing that, we finally got the truth. The truth? Miss Andrews' last testimony. I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself, but I still think there is something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with your face, pal. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No, I mean almost need to frame Mr. Ongard. I couldn't figure that out for anything that she said all day. Then, you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie, per se, just, not the truth. Isn't that a lie? Well, I mean, if you put it like that, it just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Like that old cartoon, yep. Mm-hmm. I was gonna think of a different name for Transformers, but I couldn't think of anything. And that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. That's such a dirty trick. You know what's a dirty fucking trick is when the game was like, you've only got one chance at this, and then Edgeworth is like, hey, present the suicide note. Hey, present the suicide note. And then you present it, and then the game's like, haha, you lose. Restart the trial over from the beginning. It's called gameplay. Francesca von Karma. Speaking of Miss Von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Why are you talking like me again, pal? It just happens, man. Wasn't she shot this morning? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, she was. I forgot about that. That's why you don't take... It's like this game is also like kind of... It's like you're not supposed to take breaks because otherwise you forget shit. And on the other hand, if you don't take breaks and you try and do all the trials and stuff in one sitting, you just want to, like, die. But yeah, I forgot about her being able to, that she was shot. I mean, I still don't know. I mean, like, I had that theory that Francesca's the one who set up this entire thing to, like, have us in a, like, an unwinnable, case. Now, I don't know if she would do that. I mean, I kind of think she would. Because it doesn't seem like she has, like, any scruples at all in terms of, like, you know, justice and whatnot. Like, at least Miles, even when he was, at his worst, he still had some respect for the idea of, like, getting the correct verdict, not just the one that's most beneficial to him. Miss Von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. Did she shoot herself? Do we know that she was shot by, like, someone else? But she's gonna be fine, right? No. I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, right? Oh, no, they meant they put her body in the stable, pal. The barn, you know, as they do in Germania. Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out, so she'll probably be resting at the hospital. Hey, you want a metal detector and go fuck with her? That don't sounds like fun. Which one? What? You gonna visit her, pal? No, well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't... What do you mean we've actually got a heart? We're the only one with a heart. Feel like she was being tortured to death not being able to go to that trial today. It'd be good for you if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal. I mean, is it her whipping arm that was shot at least? Let's go let her whip us, Nick! Shut up, Pearl. Don't ever say that again. Now I'm definitely not going. What should we make our 8-year-old character say? Oh yeah, we should make her want to be whipped. Yeah, that'll go over well. Oh, let's see. Oh, it is the hottie. I kind of assumed that's what they were going for. The name of the hospital? Oh yeah, the hottie clinic. Where all the hotties are at. That name sends a chill down my spine. Yes. Well, it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Look, it's my attorney's badge. Oh, it's a little tarnished, but don't you think, pal? Don't worry, I'll make it all sparkle shiny again. Let me just get my spit wad. I'm really touched. Could you please take a look at this? I can't think of anything to say about this, pal. Give me your secrets. Why don't I make us some instant noodles instead? That's okay, really. Have you heard anything from the kidnapper? No, not yet. I'm sure once he hears what happened at the trial today, he'll call, pal. But remember, you can't provoke him when you get to talk to him. Definitely don't call him Mr. Dick or nothing. That'd be downright rude. When I saw that button, I thought to myself, this is gonna prove Mr. OnGuard's guilty. But it looks like there was a lot more to it than I thought, huh, pal? You're a pro. You should, know better than to say something like that. Well, I'm not a cop anymore. Just a regular helper around the office now, so, can I get a raise? I wonder if he misses working down at the precinct. Who would have thought that this knife Mr. OnGuard used to eat his dinner steak with? Go on. That he'd be stabbed into the victim's body by Miss Andrews, of all people. I guess she just hated the victim that much, huh, pal? The question isn't why she hated the victim to that extent, but rather, why she tried to pin the murder on Mr. OnGuard. I wonder if she really hates Mr. OnGuard. You know anything about the suicide report? Nope. You know anything about Maya? It'll be okay. You'll see her again, little missy. Yeah. It's real important that you guys don't give up. Okay. I guess a big voice really does give you a sense of presence. I won't give up, ever. Never give up, trust your instincts, do a barrel roll. Tyrion, you can't give in, little missy. Yeah. Hey, I know. I'll show you something cool. How's this? It's a real genuine pistol. I don't have a pistol or police badge anymore. Cheer up, you can't give in. Yeah. What are those two doing? People are jealous of my roguishly good detective look, pal. Because of this look that I passed the detective's desk, you know? Oh. Well, you know, people can't coast through life on their looks alone, pal. Yeah, you can't count on your looks alone. Wow, I learned something new today. Is she alright? After being shot, I mean? Nope. Got gangrene. Chopped her arm off. Never whip again. Actually, there was talk about getting her a robot arm so she could whip at the speed of light. Her wound isn't that bad. Well, the gunshot wound anyway. But the wound to her pride, now that's a different story, pal. The wound to her pride? Well, until now, she's always upheld the Von Karma Creed. But since she came here, well, you've given her pride quite a beating, pal. Oh. I mean, she may act all grown up, but she's really still just an 18-year-old. Quite frankly, I'll worry about her, pal. That's the first time I've seen that side of Mr. Edgeworth, pal. Forcing people to say what he wants them to during testimony? I want to know what in the world happened to him all that time he's been gone. You know anything about Will? You know anything about Lotta? You know anything about Juan? I'm not a real fan of action shows or anything, but I know who Juan Corrida and Matt OnGuard are. Juan Corrida, though, he was always desperately trying to be better than Matt OnGuard. Have we seen this already? I think we have. My controller, please, it's very sick. My impression of her has totally changed. So where is she right now? Shit, dude, I don't know. I'm sure she's being questioned down at the precinct. At the very least about messing with the body and obstructing the investigation. Too bad we don't got any laws against that. And she'll probably be staying over at the detention center. The detention center? Huh. Alright. Hey, it's wilting a little. Wow. Now give it some delicious water, pal. It's okay. I already did that. The watering can. Where are you, Mr. Watering Can? Did he just call the watering can Mr.? You can call me Mr. Dick, Mr. Watering Can. This is the, Nickel Samurai, right? Yeah, that's right. Mr. Nick. Please take care of Mystic Maya and her Nickel Samurai, alright? Are we not her nickel samurai? My desk. Since it's unusually clean. Since I don't have time to sit, it's unusually clean. Oh, I cleaned it up even more for you last night. But I can get it even more cleaner, pal. Ah! That's for the toilet. What a mess. Literally. Difficult looking legal books stand in a formidable row. They're unusually clean since they've never been used. You need to look up something in one of those law books? Yeah, we've seen this already. But I can read and I'm tall, pal. Okay, that's new. Please stop competing with an 8-year-old. It's disturbing. Okay, I did just say they don't do much with Pearl. I think I've been proven wrong. Take me to the hottie clinic. Well, am I ready to do... What's the hottie voice again? I don't really remember. It's basically just like the nerd voice, but slightly different. Never thought I'd come back to this place. Did you really think they drew all this just for one time, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Come on, man. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? Hey, wait a second, you're... Yes, I'm Director Hottie. Ho-ho. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yes. Director Hottie. Edgy boy? Yes, I'm Director Hottie. Ho-ho. Oh, you're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it? Director Francesca. How is Francesca von Karma? Not very hot, that one. Doesn't really belong in the hottie clinic. You don't need to worry. Yeah, she's in good hands. My hands. Grabby hands. Because you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes, yes, and that surgery, it went well. Breast expansion surgery. They're as big as watermelons now. She can really be an anime waifu. You have my gratitude. It looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secretary. He looks so pitiful, absolutely terrified. Yes, but I understand. Her opponent was a gun after all, And when I snuck up to a real secret, like, she would scream real loudly. Yes. See, just more investigations, less trials. I see. But she's really cute too. When I'd do that, she'd whip me with her whip. Boy, did I cry like a baby. Yes, but I think I could get used to it. Go back to your room. You're so mean, So mean, my frisky Friska. But that's a good, Okay, I am, yes, it's time for my IV drops, yes. And that dude is still walking on his crutches? He'll get there eventually, man. And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix Wright? We have tulips? She knew I should have come here. Take these tulips. Take this knife. Okay, whip beats knife. I guess that's all I get. I guess that's all I get. You ever seen a real life attorney's badge? I was shot in front of the courthouse on my right shoulder. It's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. So, where's the bullet hole in your dress, or do you just have like a bunch of those? That you had delivered? I even had full intentions of running the trial this morning. But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding, one has to wonder if he was simply interested in stealing my case. The only logical course of action given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made. Don't look smug at me, you little... I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma? You made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. Ongard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof I made such a deal? You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I had been in court today, this trial would have already be over. Sure. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime? That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I only have one objective, to find OnGuard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma, Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then OnGuard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. But you had to know she was... Ow! I think visiting hours here are about over. So if you'll excuse me... What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Yeah, that's it. Edgeworth? This patient is undergoing rehabilitation. Wasn't that patient standing there in the same spot the last time you came to visit? Don't like they've moved any closer to the reception desk, huh? Is this clinic really doing anything? Is that patient really getting any better? Hey, don't cut into my monologue like that. I'm explaining things here. Ah, sorry. Yes, most sorry. Yes, huh? Okay, that's great. This must be the waiting area. It's got the feeling of one, and there are sofas lined up, but I don't see a lot of any patients. Yes, well, visiting hours are over, that's why, It's time for nightly consultations to begin. Mine, that is. Isn't there anyone keeping an eye on this guy? Also, are you leaving? Didn't you leave? Wonder where that doorway down there leads to. Oh, that's the x-ray room. Yes. How do you know what I was thinking? Also, did we do this already? Yes, well, it's because that's the x-ray room. There's something very peculiar about this guy, because I know it's not me. Anything else worth looking at? This is the clinic's reception desk, but it doesn't look like anyone is there at the counter. On the wall is this month's word to the wise. Put your best foot forward. Putting this up at a general clinic like this doesn't really mean much, does it? What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you know about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far... but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright. The courtroom is a garden of judgment. What? I am putting myself on the line when I stand in there. What? And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. What? By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you. Like, we'll get a flashback for this, but, like, they'll be like, hey, remember that time Mo said something 3 hours ago? Remember that? Yeah, you need to remember that for this, trials part. That card. What in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, Wright. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. The moon isn't real. It's all made up. All of it. A special investigations team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelley the Killer. Really? Okay. And just as his name states, he is a killer. An assassin. The best at that. Assassin? I mean, who could afford to hire an assassin? I mean, I assume Matt, like, I mean, does he have money? I mean, I guess it could have been him that hired it, but... I didn't hit any buttons there, just for reference. So who is this Shelley the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelley is the professional name of the third heir to the Day Killer name. So because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves cards with a shell on them? Yes, obviously. Why does this not make sense to you, Wright? He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would you do something like that? Also, Pearl, I don't know if you should be here for this. We think it's part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charge being pushed onto his clients. I see. I actually contacted him recently about eliminating you, Phoenix. The killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. Okay. It seems that this is one honorable assassin. Okay. So the day killer guy is the one who killed Juan? Left the card. She picked the card up, which is why he had to get us involved to prove Matt not guilty. So Matt is not the direct killer, but he hired someone to kill Juan. Okay. So it all makes sense now. We finally got an aha moment. That's another reason why this case has kind of been annoying me, is that I feel like none of the shit in the trial, like, I feel like I never figured anything out. Like, it was just kind of stumbling around. Like, there was never that moment where it's like, I don't know what they want. And then when you figure out what they want, you have that, like, revelation. And it feels really good. That right there is the closest we've gotten to that in this trial. But it seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So, you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelley Day Killer, huh? I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, he's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Really? By his name as the heir to the Edgeworth family? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick, you're being big weird right now. There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal, somehow. It's the only way. Right? Listen, you need to know something. Juan Carrito was killed by Shelley Day Killer. And that client who ordered the job is Matt on guard. Yeah, but like, I just figured that out, man. I was kind of hoping you guys wouldn't spell it out so I could at least feel slightly good about getting something right for once in this fucking trial. I'm not really mad, but... is Matt on guard, your own client? Please stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you will need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only. As we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley Day Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you in. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. It's kind of like Pokemon Red Rescue Team, but it's Phoenix Wright Maya Rescue Team. The legally distinct... we'll meet again if anything should happen. Now, you'll excuse me. Mr. Nick? You think Mr. OnGuard hired an assassin? I mean, I did until the game told me he did. Now I don't. No way! I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. Yeah, I guess not. Maya, please, all I can ask is that you make it home safe and sound. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. I mean, they must have wanted that to happen. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up, like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. Anything else to look at? Boxes. Too dark to see? What do you mean it's too dark to see? Alright, fine, I'm moving. Are we in the hotel? Maybe not. Okay, it's like an old lady or something? Yeah, that's not the Celeste lady, is it? I can't tell. What is this place? I got a feeling I'm not in a hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that for later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. Yeah, let's, activate room escape mode. Locked, of course. And it doesn't look like I can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through there. Maya, if you could fit through a cat door, that's maybe a problem. Maybe you're not eating enough burgers after all? That's weird. What's a figurine what's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? It's a bear, dude. It's a bear. I think it's a bear. Oh, how cute. But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. Yeah, that's her. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, it looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." I bet this could be a clue. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. And that, like, just dated this game so much. Like, just in an instant, I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's like 20 years old. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Drat, there goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. What is this thing? An antenna, I guess? And this is a VCR. Like, honestly, them talking about a VCR dates it less to me than, like, not knowing how to work a computer. I guess it's because, like, I actually used a VCR a lot until I was, like, 10 years old, so... But I used computers from, like, you know, when I was much younger. What is an antenna doing here? Granted, the computers were, like, absolute garbage. Like, they were from, like, you know, late 80s. Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. Yeah! It seems that your Mr. Wright is truly concerned about you. He is? Now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways? You mean, like, chiropractic? Because, I mean, my neck is really stiff. If you want to get on those knots, then... Dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct? Dead? I'm almost certain I told you in the first meeting. I am an assassin. But, no way, you're lying. I mean, an assassin? Plus, you're not paid. You're not gonna kill people for free. People are not always who they appear to be. Nick! Mr. Nick? I just got brain blasted, Pearls. Yeah, I got caught up in my thoughts about Maya's situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know. Guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. Ongard. I think I should listen to a story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay. Why would the killer have a picture of Celeste? Because, I mean, my theory about Matt being the guy who hired him, I'm pretty much like, I don't believe that anymore now that the game told me that. It was a good theory until the game said, yeah, you're right, and then I know I'm wrong. Let's see, why would Celeste have a... Or, I mean, it could just be that he's in, like, Matt's house? Like, that's, like, a room in his house or something? That they've got Maya hidden in? Or it could be Juan's house? Or it could be Adrian. Actually, it's probably Adrian's house. Because, I mean, we don't really know that Celeste had any sort of, like, actual, real, meaningful relationship with the other two. Because we don't really know the circumstances of her suicide. So it could be that's Adrian's house. So Adrian... Let's think of... So if Adrian was the one to kill Juan... Like, Adrian hired someone to kill... Like, maybe she wanted to kill both of them? Like, kill Juan blame the murder on Matt? Like, maybe both of them are to blame for Celeste's, death? I don't know. That wouldn't really explain why the assassin has intervened, though, to try and prove Matt innocent. Don't rattle no just yet. Sorry, but visiting hours are over for today. Aww. I have too many questions I need to ask. Sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... You're Mr. Wright, you say? I hate you. Oh, yeah, there's a message here for you. It says, Phoenix Wright sucks eggs. Do you know what that means? Message. It's from Matt on guard. Ah, here you are. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what he has to say. Mr. Lawyer, dude, I got something really important to tell you. Why am I feeling easy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So I actually, got a favor to ask you. Got this cat named Shoe? Don't ask. I didn't put a lot of food out when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. Think you could drop by my house and feed Shoe for me, dude? Also, don't, look in the back room where, my torture chamber is. That'd be real fucking rude, man. My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? But seriously, don't look in the torture chamber. You won't find Maya there. Promise. This is terrible. Let's hurry. We have to feed his cat. I'm sure poor Shoe's stomach is growling by now. I mean, the fact that he's inviting us into his house must mean that he is, not guilty in the slightest. Because, I mean, he's not that... If he's smart enough to go through the work of, hiring a killer to kill his idol, knowing that... Or not idol, rival. Knowing that... if he's smart enough to do all that shit, which, I mean, you don't have to be that smart, but you have to have, a modicum of intelligence to come up with that plan. He wouldn't then just, invite us into his house, you know? If he was actually guilty. Please feed my cat Shoe. My house is just a little ways down from the hotel. Client's request is a request. Guess I should go check up on his cat. This guard monitors the visiting room, catching a few Z's while he's standing, and that's a good way to spend free time. Smile, you're on candid camera. Alright now, Mr. Nick, let's go look for clues. We have to, for Miss Maya's sake. You shall not pass. Ah, Miss Oldbag. Don't devalue my name and turn into a gasp, you spiky-headed pettifrogger. Pettifogger? Because of you, I've been made to look at the bad guy again, although I didn't get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy, just as he promised. But what I really wanted is something much more valuable. I wanted Edgy Boo's heart. I wanted it all for me. It's all your fault. You've awakened the wild beast inside of this old bag. Ah, I'm powering up. I'm gonna go Kaioken times 12. Miss Oldbag, keep your hands off of me. This helmet's airtight. No air gets in, no air gets out. Why do you keep putting it on and off? Don't you think you can get me to move with silly questions? You're gonna have to defeat me if you want to get by. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. I'm not hearing this. You know what? We'll save you for later. Sure is dark. I'm gonna turn on the light. Yeah, it doesn't really look like that room. Oh, there's the pink samurai or whatever, right? Over there? Whatever they were called. The one that's referenced after you do the steel samurai stuff. Wow, this looks like the Star's house. What? So this is what a Star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's find Shoe, the kitty cat. Shoe! Ow! Ah, ooh. Ooh! So this is Shoe. Oh, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shoe, and then it bites her. This cat seems to like pearls. Pardon me? Hey, what's up, not suspicious man? Can I help you with something, Mr.? Oh, we're lawyers, actually. I'm Mr. Onguard's lawyer. The Master's. Then, you must be Mr. Wright. Yeah. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I am the family butler, John Doe. Yes. Don't ask any questions, okay? Nice to meet you. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. Onguard, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master of his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Don't I know you? Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say, maybe about 1 year. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. You know, I would have thought Mr. Onguard the kind of guy to have a maid over a butler. It's a very cute cat you got there. It's my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies you. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Crumpled into a ball and thrown away? Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now. Oh, we should probably get going ourselves. Ah, so young and yet already so accomplished, a master of law. There's also a lot to be proud of in being a butler in charge of the house and all. Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Now, if you'll excuse me. Okie dokie. I mean, it's obviously not as straightforward as what they're going for, right? So, I'm not really taking too much stock into it. There's a giant cooking hearth here. That's actually a fireplace. How are they different, Mr. Nick? Well... You know, never actually seen a hearth before, come to think of it. You should come and visit Fay Manor then. I'll show you one when you do. A giant bicycle is flying through the air! That bicycle, Pearls, is one where you don't have to pedal and it moves on its own. Really? Wow! But sorry to disappoint you, it can't fly. Aw, that's too bad. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. In any case, I don't really belong here, do I? Ah, what is it with me and feeling inferior today? Well, it's probably just because you finished getting, like, thoroughly humiliated in the trial continuously over and over again. There's another door over there. You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick. Yeah, Pearls. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. Bet it's for Mr. Onguard's cat to use. Oh, you mean Shoo? The door, it's locked tight. Well, I guess that's to keep nosy people like me from entering it. We didn't really get anything out of this. Ah, there are masks here. I mean, like, it's important info, I guess, but it's not like concrete evidence or anything. Yeah, that one in the middle is the Steel Samurai. One's next to the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. They fought many battles against the backdrop of Neo-Old Tokyo. Wow, you really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick. I frickin' lived it. I don't know whether to laugh or to cry that I know more about that show than a kid. Anything else? Not really. Well, I guess we'll get going. Trying to think. Let's stop here. In the next video, we will continue investigating. I feel so much better now that we're done with the frickin' trial for a little bit. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.